Okay, so welcome everybody to the review. We're just going to do the prayer and a meditation right now. Okay, and today is August the 19th, I believe, and we're reviewing Ashira's channeling from Wednesday, the 17th. Okay, so Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, all angels and archangels, ascended masters, beloved saints, enlightened beings, star brothers and sisters, council of love, council that serves, our guides and guardians. We are your children and servants. We pray today for love and balance, joy for ourselves, family, friends, and co-workers, for all we intermingle with during the day, for healing of self and our beloved collective, for clarity of creation, for sacred purpose, for the projects we interact with, for consensus, democracy, gender equality, peace, and harmony on Gaia. Amen, amen, and amen. Okay, so now I'll just go out and we'll do the meditation. Okay.
So let's begin by working with and taking a nice deep breath of this Purlana sea energy. And it's not something that you need to go searching for. It's in the very air that's surrounding you. It's moving in a circular motion around the entire planet. And it's very high frequency, life force energy of your star family. The color of Purlana sea is like a beautiful, brilliant, fluorescent blue, part of the Halion ray, part of Michael, of course, part of the mother. But see this beautiful blue flame, like the blue that comes out of a gas jet or a welding torch. The blue that you see in your third eye right now. And breathe in this blue. Feel your shoulders throw back, pull them back, open up your chest, relax. But feel that rib cage entirely open. And your central channel from your crown, from above your crown, from about the 16th chakra on up, down past your root, wide open to Gaia herself. That beautiful central column of your being, crack it wide open. Now breathe and receive this beautiful fluorescent blue. Feel it coming down through your higher chakras, through the roof of your head, the roof of your mouth, your throat, your high heart, your rib cage. Feel it explode and jerk into your Halion center. Your solar plexus, your belly button, your beautiful tummy, your pubic, your root. Shoot it on down like a gas flame, down towards Gaia. And let's open up this stream and just fill yourself. and feel each and every one of your chakras being activated, brought to a more rapid pulse, a higher frequency that you feel you got your hand in the electrical socket, that you're humming. Bring it on. Now feel yourself connecting to our beautiful Earth Mother Gaia, to this ancient, wondrous being, and pulling up that ruby red, that rich red, that life force red, and it's blending with the Porlana Sea, and it's a beautiful, rich magenta amethyst. Pull it up through your root, through your pubic. Don't forget, these are your areas for creation on earth, into your tummy, into your sacral, into your umbilical, into your solar, into your heart, and feel these intertwining, caressing and dancing like that gas jet with your beautiful tri-flame, with your perfect pink, with the infinite gold of the Father and the infinite blue of the Mother. Feel them juiced up, dancing more brightly, more vitally, more exuberantly. Breathe it in. And open and receive. This is an energy that is penetrating the entire planet. But it is also an energy you can choose to build on, receive more of, and allow the activations to be more rapid. So open your heart. Feel that connection to your star family. This is their life force, their love force. And anchor it. Anchor it in each chakra. Anchor it from your crown down. Crown, third eye, fourth eye, throat, lower throat, high heart, heart. Halion, solar, umbilical. Sacral, pubic root. Feel it all the way down to the arches of your feet. Feel it fill your bones like an electrical impulse passing through your entire body. It is enervating, energizing, but not exhausting. And let it flow.
Okay. I didn't look at the chat message. Did someone send me a chat? No? No. Okay. Don't worry about it. All right. So this is the review from the last class. And I just pulled out some of the points that kind of jumped out at me. The first one was that Ashira said, we see you, we consider you as part of our mission and purpose, and we are colleagues. We are in collaboration, we are in alignment, we are in allegiance for this completion, which is merely a new beginning of the Universal Mother's plan. So it's always so comforting to know that we're surrounded. And the beings on the other side, they really want us to come into alignment. So it's just really lovely to hear this reiterated over and over. I think there is the individual sacred union, soul to soul, heart to heart, person to person, but there's also sacred unions of collectives, of heart promises, love and caring of collectives. So we of the united forces of or unified forces of the outer galaxies, and I do not misspeak if I say that all of the various commands hold this vision and this knowing, this commitment. We are in sacred union with you, not only with each other, but with you, and particularly with you who are awake, who are aware, not only of our presence, but of our love. So again, it's just really, really beautiful to hear them say this, because there's been such a history on this planet of disarray from the other side, maybe galactics, or I'm not sure, but yeah, so it's just really, really lovely to hear this. And if anybody has anything to say, just jump in. Don't. Yeah,
Kathleen, I have a question.
Yeah.
So when it says the unified forces of the outer galaxies,
Yes.
so what does that mean? Like, is that like the Palladian, like all that? Like, I don't know what that is. That what that is? Like just the different.
Yes, it's huge. It goes into like this. Okay, so maybe Steve, if you might need to help me here, but we're in a universe here or a galaxy? This is our universe. Is that how it works?
Both.
This is our universe. What do you mean?
Like where we are, our solar system.
Is in a galaxy, which is in a universe.
So our solar system is a galaxy.
In a galaxy.
Sorry, Darren knows.
In a galaxy.
Go ahead, Darren.
And then there's.
A galaxy is in the universe.
Okay.
One of many universes which forms the omniverse.
Okay.
Do the people in the transcendent look like bubbles? And they stick their head in, they say, do I want to incarnate in this universe or not?
Okay, so when
Said that.
Ashira says unified forces of the outer galaxies, that's in this universe.
Yes.
Yeah, I would think so, yeah.
Okay, so there's several galaxies within our universe. Our solar system is.
There are thousands and billions and millions
Yeah, there's billions, yeah,
in our universe.
right.
You remember
Okay.
Hubble telescope? Hubble telescope? Every one of those little thingies is a galaxy, right? There are thousands of them.
Okay,
Billions, whatever.
okay, so would you say our solar system, Earth, and the planets around the sun, or around us, that's a galaxy?
No, that's a sun within a galaxy,
Okay,
within the Milky Way galaxy.
okay,
It's a little solar system in a big galaxy.
okay. All right. So it's a lot of forces within.
That's
Yeah.
that.
So
Yeah.
they are from the outer galaxies in our universe.
Yeah.
Whereas the Galactic Federation of Light is the one that's from the Pleiades and Sirius and Arcturus and Antares and whatever else.
Okay.
No.
Okay. And then Sanat Kumara was the universal logo, or no, the planetary logos of Venus and Earth, and now he's universal logo. So that's like a huge jump up. too.
Except, of course, that he's the only one who knows the ins and outs of this very groundbreaking ascension we're going through. So it actually makes a lot of sense that he should, go up and
Yeah.
continue the ascension process.
Right.
Actually makes sense.
Okay, so an Ashira being the commander of the unified forces of the outer galaxies, that's a very big job too.
You bet.
Yeah.
I was reading yesterday about, they were talking about Yeshua being not the universal logos, but something.
Hierarch.
What is it?
The hierarch of the white brethren.
Yes, yes.
Oh.
And somehow that related to what they were talking about with the universal logos. And it seems like the more we discuss this, everything is so interrelated. I'm not sure that it helps much to define everything because it's more a matter of trust to me. I don't know.
Mhm.
how I feel.
That's a good point, because I think there's a lot more than we can actually take in at this point. So yeah, just trusting that they love us, basically. And that's what he said here. Yeah, and that it's the various commands hold this vision and the commitment too. Yes, Steve.
If we look at them, Ashira and everybody else, the higher dimensions, we look at them with 3D eyes, then we try to figure out, well, why would they do this? Why would they, you know what I'm saying? But if you realize the love that exists on that dimension, if we ever have an experience of it, say even just a little experience, then immediately we see what they're doing is explicable when they say we love you and and we're doing this out of our love for you. They live in an atmosphere of love that's more amazing and majestic and every other superlative than we experience, except for brief moments in our entire life. So I hear us sometimes talking from our 3D 4D standpoint, and it doesn't explain why they would say we love you. They're in love. They're in a sea of love.
Yep, but even when Susie asked about the conflict, and if there's conflict on ship, then they jump in and they mediate it immediately.
Yes.
So we don't exactly do that here, and we don't hold intent for a win-win outcome. So they are in a higher realm than we are.
Definitely.
But do we ask for help when that happens?
Yes, absolutely ask for help. Anytime you're not feeling great, ask for help.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, but do we ask for help? And I don't think we do. I'm talking,
Oh, generally.
yeah, big picture. I mean, when you're talking about, the way these beings seem to operate, they seem to have a cooperative attitude, whereas I don't think most of us even realize that we're together.
So that stems from our lack of self-worth and lack of self-love, which is within all the old belief systems that don't work here. So when we don't want to ask for help, that's a lack. That comes from a place of lack.
Right.
So just know, like, we're really working on getting ourselves into that higher dimensional way by releasing all lack. And
I think, sorry, I was just going to say, in other words, I really shouldn't get too bogged down by the details of all of this. It's as far as the unified forces, my original question, it sounds like I just need to trust. I don't really know the details, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Well, trust is important for sure, but for myself, I like to define things as much as possible, as much as my brain will handle, because I want to expand think as far as I can, hopefully to the edges of the universe, as much as I can. But in order to do that, I have to try and understand what the structure of the universe is. And that's what I try to do.
Right.
Yeah, so even just knowing like the unified forces of the outer galaxies, it's a huge, it's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That's good for me.
yeah, that's good for me too.
I don't need to know the details like Darren is, which is great that I know Darren and Steve, like you guys know all that and you understand it. I don't really need to. I'm like, okay, I get it now.
Yeah, well, I always reach for the stars because there's lots of room up there,
That's awesome, Darren, I think. And it's great. You have so much knowledge. I love it.
But I think one thing you're saying, Leanne, is worth underlining, and that's if you don't feel a draw towards knowing about these things, then the phrase is a little overused, but then you don't have a need to know. Do you know what I mean? If you don't feel drawn to it.
Exactly. It doesn't
then-
interest me. And yeah, so it's like, okay, I'll just
Yeah.
trust. I don't need to know.
no,
Yeah.
you're-
Yeah,
So-
and it might not be connected to your mission and purpose. the way
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
connected to other people's, yeah.
Right. And
Sure.
other things that I'm like, so want to know every detail about with all of this, but not this. Yeah. Okay. That's good. Thank you.
Sure.
When you need to know, it'll come to you.
Yeah.
Sure, if you don't have an interest in it, it's not part of your mission, because the mother has said, what is your mission? Well, when you feel your toes tapping and you can't
Mhm.
wait to get at it. That's how I am with writing. I
Right.
get up in the morning, oh boy, I can't wait,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that is a part of my mission.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's part of mine as well. So, we're
right.
kind of on parallel paths,
You right, Darren?
No, I don't enjoy writing, no.
What then is part of your path? What have I understood?
To understand and explore the universe.
You bet. Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
Interesting.
can't wait for a ship.
Yeah. Why don't you go down to ECETI? You're not that far from it. You are, and you're not. No? ECETI?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Oh, why don't you go down to ECETI? You know what ECETI is?
Oh, yeah, I know where it is. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I don't know if they take me for a ride or not, I don't know if I'm ready for that.
I have a friend down there if you need to speak to anybody about it, but anyways. Just,
So do you know Gilliland or?
no, but Jeff Felbeck, Kathleen, you know Jeff, right? From
Mhm.
Seattle? Yeah. Jeff Felbeck is living down there and
Okay.
very, very nice man.
Well, you never know. I might ask you someday.
Yeah. Although, they're going to be doing something in Canada. They're doing something in every country. And when they do, they're going to need people like yourself who are familiar with the whole thing. So, yeah, the contact will come.
I'm sure it will. It's just I got to be patient. That's all, another lesson in patience.
Okay, so moving on here.
Wow.
Okay, so he goes on to say, to us, of course, always in honor to the mother and to universal law. So just know that when we're working with universal law, it is part of the mother energy, the mother father energy, birth through the mother, I believe. Yeah, so
Father doesn't act, so.
yeah, but he helped with it somehow though.
Energetically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's all about balance of the mother and the father, and that's what's missing here. So, which we will never break, but what this union means in a very practical sense is we tend to all of you. That is why right now we send you the pink light, the pink cocoon. So the pink is all about our self-love and knowing our self-worth as well. And so the pink is helping balance everything on the planet. Okay, so 2 fingers to the heart. We talked about this, what it was, and we learned it in some of the conferences that we went to, the Council of Love conferences. And it's when you put 2 fingers to the heart chakra of another person. And that meaning is, I permit you to see me. So again, that's being vulnerable and speaking from the heart. So when you're in that zone, you're a higher dimensional way. So, and Ashira went on to say how if someone is not wanting to be seen, then the galactics will just nod and move along. So of course, it's all free choice, how we want to be. And then selective A is very similar to namaste. And he said it is hello, and I welcome you, I honor you. So that was kind of interesting, that it's just a greeting, like namaste. Okay, and then heart opening, when they talked about the heart opening, it's our willingness to embrace love, the willingness to utilize universal law, the willingness to create and co-create, the willingness to go forward. Part of the collective human tendencies has been to truly dwell, simply live in the past, so that you are continually caught on a wheel or in a situation or a cycle of living in the past, rather than creating your now or creating the future. So the other thing that is occurring, which is heart opening, is that there's greater clearing. So that makes sense. So the more we can allow the old energy just to dissolve, or work with the divine qualities, like what I always say, the forgiveness, the compassion, the gratitude, we are then creating a new now. We're creating the future. We're creating peace for the planet, actually. Peace within, and then peace for the planet. So he says that we can get caught in the past. So yeah, interesting. Interesting way of looking at it. And then he said, we do not live in fear, living in that cycle, in that wheel of the past. You're living in fear because you think that what happened either yesterday or 2000 years ago is definitely going to repeat. So when we worry about something, worry is connected to the past, somewhere where there's been some type of broken trust, and then we don't want it to repeat, so we worry. It's just, it's a, like you said, like a caught in the wheel. So and what I found with that is, if you catch yourself worrying about something, just ask how it's connected to the past and then clean it up. And then the layers will peel back until you're just in this place of love rather than the old discomfort. Fear is often something that people, galactic and otherwise, try to hide. So we have radar for fear. We know what it is. We know how to address it, but we do not. But do we live in fear? Was Susie's question, and they said no. Okay, and then he's talking about conflict. By joint agreement, both formal and informal, we do not allow conflict to fester, not upon our ship, the Neptune, not throughout our fleet, and that is true of all the fleets. What we have found over the years, for many years, is that conflict is best addressed head on, but never in a way that is considered confrontational. So that's interesting. It's more gentle when they do their mediating. It's a gentle way. The only reason that conflict primarily tends to emerge is either because of fear or feelings of lack of self-worth or feelings of exaggerated ego or self-worth. So yeah, I guess that's what's happening with some of our leaders with conflict between countries. So it's just we're learning to be in that love, like I guess us boots on the ground, and then it has a ripple effect out. But it's good in a way. It's good to see that the things that are not working on this planet are right on the surface to be addressed. So for instance, like our homelessness situation in our inner city, our downtown east side, the tents are all over the streets and the people are not really leaving, and therefore the government they just have to do something about it. So that's sort of like the old issue of homelessness, which is connected to lack of self-worth and lack of self-love, is right on the surface to be addressed. It's just, it's in our community. So it's good that this is all out in the open. It's not hidden anymore. Everybody has the responsibility, not merely the right, but the responsibility to speak up when conflict seems to be occurring. And we do this so it does not escalate, then it is addressed. Your expression would be nipped in the bud. If the two people involved sit down and are not able to reach a place of agreement, and we don't simply mean agreement in terms of, well, I agree to simply ignore you, to us, that is not agreement. So I know back in about 2013, I was really struggling, 2012, I was really struggling with something, and Archangel Gabriel taught me to stand back, to stand still. And I have to say that can be really helpful if you're still willing to go in and like not ignore, but for a period of time to stand back so you can get your grounding, because oftentimes you feel so discombobulated, you just don't know what to do. And so that standing back, I have found personally to be really, really helpful until I can, my mind comes to a bit more peace, so then I can see how to move forward.
Yeah, Ashira mentions that as well, you know, in resolving conflict, you know, to take a break, stand back and evaluate the situation.
Yeah, yeah. So it's not ignoring per se, unless
Position.
don't do anything about it, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so there has to be a return to what we would call unity consciousness. If that is not forthcoming, or if the initial identification of the conflict is of such a nature, of such a tense feeling, then immediately a negotiator, a third party, is introduced. So I guess the two people try to work it out, and then if that's impossible, then the third person comes in. Resolution isn't simply tolerance, it is truly the return to the appreciation of that soul and the elimination of the fear, the angst, the tension. So yeah, I love that he's talking to us about it, because there's so many situations that we come up against where just understanding this is helpful. Okay. Where there is room for growth is in the formal setting of conflict. And in fact, if anything, part of what has occurred is that you've gone back into that old paradigm where there is not truly negotiated peace. Negotiated win-win would be your expression. Okay. If you look to Venezuela, so this is interesting. He's talking about Venezuela, Ukraine, and Syria back in 2012. There's still ongoing issues in each of these countries. If you look to these countries, these situations are not being negotiated with a strong, powerful negotiator, third party with power to resolve. They say, well, we will get together and talk, but there's no agreement to have successful outcome. And that does not work, because if you do not have the agreement to successful outcome as a starting point, you can talk until the bears immigrate once again from Syria. So yeah, I like that. The agreement to successful outcome as a starting point. Yeah, I don't really see us doing that here. Or even the knowing to do that in the peace talks.
That's what I think the problem is. You don't have an awareness large enough awareness, what you were talking about, being able to step back. Well, a lot of people haven't developed that yet.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make it, I mean, that has to be one of the things so that we can look at things and say, oh, okay, we can start to work together.
Yes, and it's super helpful if you're dealing with yourself too, to step back and just be the purity where you're the calm amidst the chaos within. So you kind of just step back in yourself. So it's good practice with self. It's good practice if there's an issue between two people. And then of course, if our leaders knew to do this, it would be amazing. Mhm.
Well, I guess we have to teach them.
Yes, or send it into the collective consciousness. We can talk etherically to the collective consciousness and to the leaders. So we can literally do that. And I'm sure it would, everything helps. So like the higher self-talk, so, yeah, we can literally do that with the leaders. And with a whole collective. Yeah. So, and then it was so interesting when he said the bears, the whales, the dolphins, the dogs, they all come via Sirius. Okay, and then he talks about loyalty. Our loyalty truly starts with our loyalty to the Divine Mother, and like you, to the ascended ones, to the archangels, to the various masters. So everything is measured against that. It is to us, if one is loyal and in service to the mother, then you are utilizing and living according to universal law and what you have named the divine qualities of compassion and prudence and patience, etc. And that look to yourself, to your beloved. And then he says, and by the way, we tend to be monogamous, to our families, to what we see as a very large family, what you would think of as a clan, out to our shipmates, to our fleet, to our nations, to our sectors. It is a continuous circle or spiral. So that's another thing that we don't really understand here. Well, a lot of us don't even realize that there is a divine mother. They think, according to the Bible, that God is masculine, God is maybe slightly punishing. So yeah, we don't realize that loyalty and service to the mother.
Wait a minute, the mother in Christianity is the Holy Spirit.
Okay. So do most people understand that though? That's a
Well, they don't understand it. No, they don't, but they do worship the Holy Spirit. Some of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Because part of the problem is we've forgotten about the Divine Mother, and that's helped create the suppression of the divine feminine here.
I agree.
Yeah, so it's interesting that you said our loyalty truly starts with our loyalty to the Divine Mother.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we find it peculiar if one can say that they truly love God, love the Mother, Father, One Source, Buddha. It doesn't matter how you're naming this, and that you are in service, not servitude, by the way, service to the One. So servitude would be that power over system. So it's not servitude, service to the One, and you're not in service to your family, and you're not in service to your neighbor, or that you love God, but hate people who are different than you. This is more than confusing. This is the heart of chaos. So he's saying that we're all source and we're all in service to each other. So it's better to love your neighbor. Love your neighbor as yourself. Yeah. Or is that the saying? Love your neighbor.
Yes, love your neighbor as yourself.
As yourself. Yeah.
As
Yeah.
yourself. As yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. And that's forgotten here too. Because we tend to blame and hate and all kinds of things. But he says this is what has need to be healed, and this is what our pink is doing for you. But more importantly, it is what the mother's gift of clarity and purity and her tsunami will address. So Leanne, and did you know what the tsunami of love is? Have you heard of that?
No.
Okay, so back in 2012, I think that was the beginning, Steve?
Or 13, one or the other.
Yeah. So the mother's energy came and she was calling it a tsunami of love, and is the blue energy, and it's swirling everywhere. It's everywhere. And it was to help uplift us. And within that was clarity and purity. And it's just a wave that washed over us. And what I found with it was it would bring up to the surface what I was suppressing. Mhm.
So I would think it's still going on right now.
I would say so.
Mother doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Huh?
So
Never sleeps.
I would like to point out that what you're suggesting is only one way of working with things, but that some people have their own way of working with things, and that not, how do I want to say this? That there isn't just one way to get to
no,
ascension.
absolutely. Yeah. This what came through Linda Dillon was really, it made so much sense to me that I kind of latched onto it. And then plus just being very close to Sanat Kumara and his teachings. So I have followed this, like really embraced it.
Mhm.
Yeah. And it's made a lot of sense to me. So yeah, this is why I love to share this, because it's made so
I'm
much.
not saying you shouldn't share it or anything or else, but I was just pointing out that there is more than one way. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. No, there's millions of pathways. Yeah.
Yeah,
All going to the same place, but
but I think most pathways have a core which is the same. It has a core belief which is always the same, no matter which one you follow.
after all, what they're doing is they're just trying to find words to describe reality, right? It's the
Sure.
same reality, but different words. But that core, they call it the perennial philosophy, or the ancient wisdom, theosophy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm. This one had simple wording. For me, it had really simple wording. I could understand it, and it just made sense. And I'm able to share it. Well, like when I do readings, I'm able to share it to help people that haven't been following things such as this, to help them understand a little bit more. So that's why I've been following it.
Well, guess my I don't know if you want to call it a problem, is that if I identify too closely with what you're talking about, then I berate myself. Why? How come I'm not able to do this? How come I'm not able to see things the way you do and stuff like that? So that's why I'm pointing this out, that it's we have to be there needs to be an allowance for the way we do things.
Oh, absolutely. No, I totally agree. Yeah. Okay. So he goes on to say, we hear telepathically, not just orally, but telepathically, the cries for help, the questions, the greetings. The number of greetings that we receive from the humans on a daily basis is in the billions, billions and billions, and they are received with gratitude, with glee, with warmth, and we transmit back our greetings. And very often you may not know where that warm feeling came from, but we definitely answer. So telepathic communication is not English.
Yeah.
As much as it would be great to be English, it's not really English. So it's feelings, it's understandings, it's knowings, and it gets easier to understand. And the more you sit in the energy, in meditation, or sit still and connect with the guidance, It gets easier. Mhm. We have had this discussion at the Intergalactic Council. Oh yeah, here he's talking about our love of currency. And his father, Grenner, is ready to pull out his hair around humans' love of currency. So it has been decided as part of the plan that currency will continue to be in form for a while because we love it. So we would never arrive and say that you don't really need that anymore. You can have the currency if you so wish. Now it's interesting he used the word currency here and not money. He didn't say love of money. So maybe currency to me sounds more like being in the flow. And the more that I'm in my heart space, in alignment, everything tends to come into alignment, whether it's, just everything around me. So currency, I feel it's more like being in the flow. Does anyone else feel that?
Well, I feel it's more like all currencies will have equal value, really, is what it relates to me.
All forms of money on the planet?
Yeah, right.
I think of a currency as abundance. And so there are all kinds of different kinds of abundance. So
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, well, it's interesting. We'll see. We certainly still have money on the planet. Hasn't disappeared. Mhm. Okay, and then he goes on to say we will have various pieces of equipment, but none of this would ever require you to relinquish what you truly like. So if you're one that still likes to write with pen and paper, they have no problem with that. There's very little that they have problems with, connected to technology. And then, but they said and this is Sanat Kumara said this too, that the biggest gift we can give to Gaia is to give away the false belief systems. And that this is what they say too, where our problem areas exist is in the area of conflict, of cruelty, of unkindness, of the acceptance. And this is something that we have not truly talked about, but the acceptance of dis-ease as a given. And that, my dear friends, is observed. So in the higher realms, there is no discomfort, dis-ease. I mean, they say they do have, some conflict on board ship, but that they address it head on. So I guess we're learning all of this. But I do feel like I've often said if there was forgiveness teachers in the hospitals, there'd be less illness. So even understanding compassion more deeply, that non-judgment of self, and then being able to bless everything, it really being the divine qualities do change everything so that we are able to be in that place of no dis-ease from illness to discomfort. But then he goes on, there will be future generation computers, more automation in the household, but the biggest shift, and we can't wait, although we will, is the cleaning up of the cities, clean, pure air, water, cities, countries, nations. And I put this in blue because the mother energy is blue, the blue of peace, and it's forgiveness that helps create peace. So the more that we are in our heart and able to stand back from the dis-ease, from the discomfort, the better it is for everything. I think that is connected to the cleanup as well. So the more we clean up within, the more like that's the as within, it contributes to the without. So he says you have many wars that are centering around gas and oil. That is absurd. What we will bring forth is the way to work with energy in various alternative ways so that you do not need to keep maiming and drilling Mother Earth. There are millions of you that are already doing this with us, both aware and not aware. So when you do your work to clean the oceans, to clean the soil, to clean the air, you are working with us. And we are not only welcoming you, we are utilizing you. So some of this is imagination work too. When you imagine that the oceans are clean and that the soil is, they're not using the fertilizers anymore and the air hasn't got the chemtrails, then we're literally working with our imagination and working with them. And also at the same time, cleaning up our belief systems within, because it's all connected. The more we understand the belief systems and let them go, that helps with the cleanup of everything.
So do you believe in the future, we will be working directly with them on the ground as boots on the ground?
Yeah, with the projects for sure. Yes. I think we already are without realizing it. Like they're already here. And as we do the cleanup, then the easier it is to be inspired as to the next steps. So the cleanup within is connected to sacred purpose. So the more we clean up, the more the true purpose can emerge for everyone. And we all come with purpose that fits together like a mosaic. So it feels like everybody's here. We're here. And it's just a matter of letting the old systems go so that purpose emerges. Yeah. Okay, so it will be one of the first and most significant changes, even before the personal technology, the cleaning up of Gaia, of this type of rape and pillage will be ceased. So yeah, but I feel like that's all connected to the old belief systems. Okay, so many of our beings that have been transported have been simply beamed down. They're beamed down into rather remote situations simply so that there's no interference or no observance, but it is a much more rapid way of delivery than back and forth and back and forth. So here he's saying they just beam them down. Whether they stay, well, I guess they're not staying.
They may be staying, but this may be just where they come and get oriented and then come into the city.
Right, okay. My beloved friends, now you say, I wish to go to my starship. I wish to be with my star brothers and sisters, particularly at night. Many of you are. So there was one channeling where I think it was Archangel Gabriel explaining to us what happens when we go to sleep. And literally we just go out and play with our guides. We go and work on projects. We go to the various ships. I mean, sounds amazing, but I think Ashira says here, we're not allowed to remember because it would distract us from what we're doing here on Earth. You do not remember because it would deplete your energy and your attention to your mission and purpose, your current contract, as it were, upon the planet of Gaia. But many of you, when you are coming home to ship at night or actually reporting in for various shifts, many of you are working here as well. You are simply beaming up. And then he asks us to look around and look for the insignias of the various fleets. Our insignia is often seen or is thought of as an upside down U with 2 lines through it. To indicate the United Forces or unified. I don't know why I keep saying united, unified. So look for the insignias as you go about your busy day or when you're in bed at night and you are transported on board ship. So here he says, look for insignias as you go about your busy day. I think they're all around us. We just don't realize it. You will know where you are. Simply look and ask, and you are welcome. And I say this to all of you. I welcome you as a visitor to my ship. I pray that you will remember. So yeah, it was such an interesting channeling, this one.
Kathleen, you know what's interesting though is in the last, I would say year or two, in my dreams, I write them down every day in the morning. I do feel that I'm kind of getting a glimpse of certain things I'm doing at night. Not all the time, but there are certain, like some dreams are, don't even make any sense or whatever, and you're just working through stress or whatever. But I do know that there are certain ones where I feel like I'm in situations where I'm going into situations and helping someone or doing something or giving somebody something that they need and then getting out, like just weird things like that.
Yeah.
I think they're starting to like let us see a little bit more.
Beautiful. That's great. Yeah. I'm not one that has many dreams.
Right.
So that's fantastic to write them down. It's
Mhm.
really,
Mhm.
really good idea.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I've always had like precognitive dreams and different things. So I guess it's just something that, yeah, comes to me. I don't know.
Yes, so some people do the dream, like that's part of the mission.
Right.
The dream work.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. And it's so
Mhm.
good you're writing them down.
Yeah.
Mhm. Do you have like a dream symbolism book?
No, I don't.
There's a really good one. It's called 10,000 Dreams. It's the 10,000 is in the title.
Okay.
I can I'll send you an email with it.
Okay.
And it's
Okay.
amazing. And then it really helps with understanding.
Well, and you know what else is interesting is that, like I was saying, it's like some of them I feel like are for my personal, what you're saying, like, you know, that relating to something that I'm supposed to get a message. But other ones, it feels like I'm just doing work for some greater cause. Like I'm just, it has nothing to do with me individually. It's this group thing that's going on.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
It is.
And I have a dream book that I use all the time for many, many years. It's called Watch Your Dreams
Mm,
by Anne Ree Colton.
okay. I'm gonna write that down too. Watch your dreams. Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And that symbolism can go into everyday life. So if you see, you know, a crow, or you see something like a, you know, things like, because oftentimes I'll see something and go, oh, wow, that, what am I seeing? Why am I seeing that?
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
look it up. Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm,
that's good.
mhm. Yeah, okay.
What
So
have you been finding, Leanne, in your dreams?
What have I been finding?
Yeah, what, have you reached any?
Yeah, I'm definitely, it's something where I don't know if I can describe it right now, but it's where I'm always like in transportation, like I'm driving somewhere, or I'm going, like I said, it's like I feel like I'm this undercover person that's going into a situation and, you know, either giving something or giving information, but there's always this element of like undercover, I guess. Like it feels like, you know, I'm going into a situation that might be a little bit dangerous and then I leave or something. That's how it feels. It's really weird. Like, I'm not scared or anything, and I don't wake up thinking it was a nightmare. It just feels like that's what I'm doing. If that makes any sense.
Linda Dillon tells the story of her being in Baghdad in Saddam Hussein's palace, and suddenly Saddam Hussein starts coming towards her, right?
Yeah.
She got out of there as fast as she could.
Wow. Yeah. Or there's other times where I'll watch something that like someone, like a woman's being beaten up or something, and I can see that it's going to happen.
Right.
Like I know that it's about to happen, and then I don't know what my role is on it, but there's just different things that are, yeah, I don't know. But it's different from my other dreams that feel like they're messages for me in my life.
mhm.
Very
So
good.
I do know that there's legions that are working with Archangel Michael, and that type of situation is what we go into, like where there's war zones or distress, and basically you're just beaming energy, I think.
Right.
Mhm,
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
mhm.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to go, dear.
Oh, yes, it's that time. Okay.
Yeah, I just had a quick comment, Steve. I
Yes.
really appreciate your bullet points there on the Ismo Perez interview. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Oh, well, thank you, Darren.
Mm.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so see you Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, Steve. Go up here. There we go. It's getting dark here.
It's getting dark. Yeah.
It's even darker here.
Is it?
Yeah, it's the end of summer.
Mhm.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay, well, that was fun.
That's good. Thank you.
You're,
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Mm,
yeah, you're welcome.
right. I'll
Yeah.
see you on Tuesday.
Okay, sounds
Yeah.
good.
I don't know if I'll be here Tuesday or not. I'm going on vacation next week and I'm not exactly sure when I'm leaving, so I may or may not be here.
Okay, well, enjoy.
We'll be thinking of you.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. I might not be thinking about you. I'm not sure. Depends where I am.
Well, why not?
I don't understand. We'll go with
Well,
you in spirit.
I'm going to the beautiful Rocky Mountains, so
Good.
I might get totally immersed in that and forget about everything else.
Sounds fun.
Enjoy.
I will, thank you.
Boy,
Okay.
But
I don't understand. Why doesn't he just put us all in his suitcase and take us with him?
Yeah, really being selfish.
I don't think there's enough room in the van, that's all. You'd have to go up on top.
We can all etherically travel with Darren to.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you can do that if you like, yeah. You're allowed to do that.
He's gonna turn around and there are gonna be little pixies behind him.
Wait a minute. I wanted to get away from all of this. Why is it following me?
Well, I'm not really wanting to get away from you guys, that's for sure, but the city I can do without.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, we'll accept that.
All right. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, good night. Take care. Huh?
Take care.